Awesome, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another tutorial. This is going to be another fun one. This one was requested by MP. Shout out to MP over in our Mental About Mountain Biking Telegram community. If you're not in there, check out the link down below. You might like it. Today's video, we're going to talk about riding steep, loose sections of terrain with control, with confidence, and with consistency. So we're being blessed lately here in Squamish. It's the fall. We don't have too much in the way of dry, dusty trails. Check out this dirt right now. It's so good. But we have managed to find something that's quite steep and quite loose. I don't know if the old GoPro effect is in action there, but you'll see I'm struggling to walk up this one. It's steep, it's loose, so it's going to do the job. So this video is really for anyone who's feeling like they tense up, get nervous, get stiff at the top of steep sections like this. And that usually results, or that perhaps results in them maybe shying away from the danger. It's our brain's natural healthy response, by the way, but we can shy away from the danger and maybe move just slightly back on our bike. This in turn means that we're not centered. Our front brake or our front wheel doesn't have much weight on it. We don't have much braking power. We're going to struggle to get down a section like this in control. Maybe you're the type of rider that can ride the steep bit, but you find yourself maybe leaning towards the flee response where you pick up a lot of speed and then you may be struggling to make the corner or the section afterwards. You'll see as Adrian pans the camera there, this section is steep and continuous. There's not much in the way of like safe stopping zones. We're really committing to going from the top to the bottom if we're going to ride this section safely. And our goal becomes, well, how much can I slow down on the way down in order to be controlled for each section? So as usual, we're kind of going to split this trail up into like the run in, the hard part, and then maybe the run out. Or in this case, because it's a compound feature, it's going to be like easy bit, harder bit, easier bit, harder bit, all the way down. We're going to use the easier bits to reset back into a nice centered, strong body position. We're also going to use them to wipe off speed. So I'm going to talk about a couple of different techniques for doing that. I'm going to ride this one a few times, give you some good demos. Then we'll talk about some common errors I see in riders, and we'll go from there. Let's do it. Okay, great. So I'm at the top of this section for today. Obviously this trail keeps going way up there. We got some sweet, gnarly rock rolls. That's a story for another day. I want to focus on this steep, loose chute for today's video. So this is going to be our run-in. As you can see, it's slightly flatter than the hard part, the chute down there. So what am I going to do in the run-in? I'm going to set up in a lower, ready position. I'm going to be doing some good braking. You can see this dirt here is really smooth, really consistent. There's not too many like rocky, rooty steps. So braking traction is going to be awesome down here. And it's a good opportunity to come in nice and slow. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a grandma's walking pace or a speed that causes us to lose stability and balance, but definitely slow enough that we can then anticipate speeding up a little bit down the steep chute and being composed enough to be able to handle that. Okay, so I'm going to come in at like a fast walking pace here, as I said, in my ready position. And by the way, this breakdown here is how I approach any new line that I'm looking at for the first time or the first time in a while. I'll say, okay, well, what do I need to do where? How could it go successful? Obviously, there's trees I don't want to hit, there's corners I don't want to blow over, there's lots of things I don't want to happen. But I feel comfortable riding this, so it's best to shift my brain to the can-dos. It's an approach mentality. Okay, you see how steep this is. It's hard to walk down. As we drop into the steep chute here, that's where it's time to start thinking about, okay, where am I going to be braking heavier? Where am I going to be braking a little bit lighter? As it gets steeper, I'm probably going to have to brake less. There's going to be less traction there. Cool. So my main tactic for speed control on steep, loose sections like this is a technique we call pressure braking. We're going to overlay a clip in a second that's going to show you pressure braking on a really easy straight step somewhere else. But essentially, we're using compressions in the trail and we're using our range of movement to get low beforehand, lead and press into them nice and strong down through the feet. This not only helps us get back into a nice centered neutral position if we have drifted back again a little bit. But the main thing it does is it helps dig our tires into the ground, creating more traction, which will allow us to do more braking in less time. Okay, going to give you a really quick peek into our remote coaching platform as I show you how to do pressure braking in a nice, controlled, comfortable environment. This is the SportSense coaching app, which was developed by some mountain bikers up in Whistler. Fantastic tool and resource that we use to coach all of our full circle clients in between their sessions so they can keep that progression rolling, keep receiving personalized visual feedback. We also use it before and after all of our global expeditions so that guests of ours can start working on their technique from day zero, from the moment they sign up to come on one of these trips. And then after the trip, they're able to take home any of the skills they've learned and apply them to their local trails while also asking questions and continuing to receive that high level feedback. Okay, so getting to the pressure braking, you'll see I'm set up in a nice tall neutral position, doing the roll down technique, and I'm also combining that gradual, consistent braking while my tires are under pressure. So let's just whack on a quick little filter here. You'll see I'm coming in stacked and strong in that neutral position. My chin is right over the stem, meaning that I am centered over my bike. Great place to come in prepared. You'll notice right before the step, the steep bit, getting lower into my ready position by hinging the elbows, hips and knees. As that front wheel peaks over the edge, I'm using my range of movement to stay centered on the bike by leading, pushing the bike forward with the arms, and then I'm resetting back to the centered position by pressing down through the feet right as that rear wheel drops off the upper surface or off the step. Okay, so it goes ready, lead, press. This is our basic roll down technique. In this case, we're using the pressure created by the press. That downforce on both of our tires add tons of grip for a short amount of time. So we're going to capitalize on that. Also apply our brakes. Again, gradual, consistent pressure, turning up those brakes and using the pressure on our tires to get quite a lot of braking done in a relatively short amount of time. That's going to allow me to slow down, rest and prepare for the next steep bit in the trail. Okay, so really basic stuff. We're combining the basic roll down technique with good braking application. We're using that to slow down really quickly on those slightly flatter shelves in the trail or after compressions, after steps in steep bits of trail. This is the place to practice it, somewhere nice and safe, somewhere nice and comfortable. Get really good at this, and then you can use it to combine into steeper, looser lines like the ones we're talking about in this video. Okay, so I'm looking for every little compression in the trail to really try and dig those tires in. Now it's a bonus if I've got some slight twists, some slight turns, because sometimes we can slow the bike down by pressing it into a slight corner. We're going to do a whole nother video that another one of our riders in the Full Circle coaching program has requested. He'd like to see a video on steep catch berms. We're going to head to somewhere else with some proper built up corners and talk about that in detail. But the basic technique is the same. I'm using my range of movement, press into the trail to create that pressure, that grip. And then I'm using that pressure and grip to slow down by gradually pulling in my brakes. I'll show you what that looks like right now. Let's do it. Way too loose and way too fun to stop. I'll come back up and yeah, we can film this bit next maybe. Awesome. One other thing that a lot of riders miss is they'll know the technique, they'll know what to do where, but they'll perhaps just focused on the quote unquote hard bits of the steep chute. We might forget the actual commitment piece of where we're actually trying to get to, where our next island of safety is. So for me coming down this line, I'm really committing to getting the bike down to this shelf here where it flattens out a little bit. And I'm really committing to using that to do some good braking, to do some more slowing down, to ensure that I don't perhaps get pushed into the back of my bike, find some lack of control and then end up dropping into that next section in a compromised position faster than I had intended. So really committing to get down here, drive those tires into the dirt, do some good slowing down, reset before the next section. Awesome, so riding another steep loose section here. Keep an eye on my body position or how I'm using my range of movement to create grip in those compressions. Awesome, so just kind of summarizing here, we've talked about lots of different things, but I really recommend you go away and take each technique or each individual strategy I've talked about and practice it on itself in some nice comfortable terrain, and then bring it back to something like this that's maybe more challenging for you to apply it on. So we've talked about body positioning, getting lower, using that range of movement to press down through the compressions. We can practice this on any basic roll down, any basic step on the trail. Add in braking with that as well. So if you're trying this for the first time, braking as you create pressure, it's not really working or your wheels keep skidding, I recommend going away to just a steeper, looser gravel road. It doesn't have to be as steep as this, but just any kind of loose gravelly hill, and practicing getting in a good body position, modulating both your front and your back brake, getting to that point where you turn the brakes up so much that your wheels or your tires start to lose traction, and then adjusting, finding those micro adjustments and getting back to a place where you have traction. So thinking about that gradual, consistent braking and then modulating. If you're at a place where you feel comfortable putting all these pieces together, we're using that roll down technique, we're using that range of movement to push the bike, push the tires into the ground and create grip. And then we're also braking at the same time. So rather than just riding a steep section of trail like this and keeping our brakes consistently on the whole time, skidding down there, finding a lack of control, maybe moving into the back of the bike, what we want to do instead is divide the trail up into easier bits and harder bits, do more braking in the easier bits where we can create more traction, and then do less braking, actually let the wheels roll, let the tires roll on the steeper sections. Now you'll see from some of my demos, this feels loose, there's rock sliding down the hill, it's a steep loose trail. That's okay. I was still in control to the point where I felt safe and comfortable slowing down and coming to a stop in those easier bits. And I also felt safe and comfortable to commit into the speed and to commit into maybe the chaos on the steeper, looser bits. If you've enjoyed this video and you'd like more, or you'd maybe like some tips on your riding, some feedback to make sure how you think you're riding matches how you're actually riding, or you've got questions of your own that you'd love to see me make a tutorial like this on, feel free to jump into our Mental About Mountain Biking community, which is on Telegram. The link to apply is down below. Or if you're feeling ready to go all in and work with me, you can check out our Full Circle coaching program, which is for riders that are able to travel here to Squamish, but not necessarily for riders who live here in Squamish. We work with riders all around the world. It's got online components, it's got in-person components, so we can make it work to you. Feel free to check out the details. Let me know if you've got any questions. For those hungry, or for those with a thirst for adventure who also like traveling, as well as learning new things, riding new trails, you can check out our collection of global mountain biking expeditions, also linked down below. Cheers guys, we'll see you on the next one.